Folks, in my 20 years in the league, I've never seen anything like this. This is a seismic shift, a game-changing revelation that's happening right now, and nobody outside the inner circle knows the full extent of it yet. I'm telling you, what I'm about to reveal could reshape the entire landscape of the NFL in 2026. This isn't a rumor, it's a whispered secret, a clandestine plan so bold, so audacious, that it might just flip the balance of power in the NFC and beyond. But hear me out. There's a bigger story beneath this, a hidden chess move that only a few insiders are privy to. And if you're serious about knowing the truth, about understanding exactly what the San Francisco 49ers and Mark Andrews are brewing behind the scenes, then stay tuned. Because what I'm about to unveil will blow your mind. Insiders are calling it the biggest trade bombshell in a decade, and I haven't even revealed the half of it yet. But first, listen up. If you want to stay ahead of the game, if you want the exclusive inside scoop that nobody else dares to talk about, then hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that like, because trust me, what's coming will require you to be locked in. Turn on that notification bell too. This is your one chance to be in the know, to see something truly historic unfold before your eyes. Because I guarantee you, the moment I drop the full picture, the NFL world will never be the same. Those who are inside the walls, those who understand the magnitude of this move, you know what's really happening. But for everyone else, well, they're about to be left in the dark. Let's take a deep dive behind the curtain. Now, for years, the San Francisco 49ers have been a team on the precipice of greatness. A perennial contender with unstoppable talent on defense, a creative offensive mind in Kyle Shanahan, and a roster that's been built to compete at the highest level. But there's one glaring weakness that's haunted them since the epic Super Bowl run of 2019. Consistency at the tight end position, especially in the red zone and clutch situations. Over the past seasons, the 49ers have grappled with injury issues, inconsistent play, and a lack of a true game-changing tight end that can match up with the elite pass catchers around the league. George Kittle, legendary as he is, has been hampered by injuries, and while he still produces when healthy, his durability has become a concern. Their current receiving options, talented as they are, lack that extra gear, that reliable mismatch nightmare that defenses dread. Enter Mark Andrews. The story of Andrews is already well known to those who follow the league closely. A dominant force in Baltimore, a player who redefined what tight end excellence looks like. Andrews isn't just a catch-and-block guy. He's a matchup nightmare, a red zone assassin, a player with elite route running, hands that rarely drop, and the size and strength to dominate safeties and linebackers alike. When Lamar Jackson needs a clutch conversion, he turns to Andrews. He's a team leader, a proven playoff performer, and a guy whose stats have quietly built a case for him as one of the top-tier tight ends in the NFL today. But the question isn't just about his talent. It's about what this move could actually mean in the grand scheme of the NFL landscape. Let's talk film. Watch Andrews' game footage, and what immediately jumps out is his incredible ability to find soft spots in coverage, his nuanced route running that confuses defenders, and his freakish catch radius. His ability to make contested catches is among the best in the league. Advanced metrics look at his catch percentage in tight windows, his yards after catch, they're top tier. His route separation metrics? Elite. During the 2025 season, Andrews posted a career-high 48 receptions for 422 yards and 5 touchdowns, playing through injuries with a snap share exceeding 60%. His yards per target and average depth of target, ADOT, continue to trend upward, making him a genuine vertical threat despite his reputation as a red zone specialist. But what's truly fascinating is the advanced analytics, his separation rate, his success rate on third downs, and his PFF grades. Despite some injury setbacks, the sharp-eyed scouts in the NFL see the elite potential that hasn't fully been realized in the last 2 seasons due to inconsistent targets and the Ravens' evolving offense. That's where 49ers brass, with their innovative scheme and history of maximizing tight ends, see an opportunity. They see a player who, with a change of scenery, could redefine his career, reach new heights, and become the centerpiece of Shanahan's offense. Now, I've been told by multiple sources that behind closed doors, a complex plan is already in motion. The 49ers, led by John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, have been quietly studying Andrews' tape for months. They see an elite talent that can bring an entirely new dimension to their offense. His skill set syncs perfectly with Shanahan's play-action-heavy cross-hybrid scheme, a perfect mismatch in a league where matchups are king. And it's not just about the talent, it's about the contract. Andrews' recent extension in Baltimore, worth nearly $40 million over 3 years, signals his value. But the 49ers are prepared to make a bold move, even if it costs draft capital or salary cap flexibility. So how could this trade actually happen? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Baltimore is in a tricky spot. They're contending, and Andrews is still a core piece. But the Ravens' front office has reportedly been exploring options because they see a window to maximize value for their star tight end. With Lamar Jackson's future still uncertain and their need for draft capital to rebuild and stay competitive long-term, a trade makes strategic sense. The 49ers, on the other hand, are willing to part with some future picks, possibly a second-rounder plus a mid-tier player or a late-round pick that can be flipped for additional assets. Salary cap-wise, Andrews' cap hit is manageable, around $13 million annually, and the 49ers have the flexibility to absorb or restructure contracts as needed, especially if they can shuffle some of their veteran players or execute clever extensions. But what about the scheme fit? Shanahan loves tight ends who can do it all: block, catch, run after catch. Andrews fits perfectly into that mold. His ability to be a true wide tight end, shedding linebackers in the open field or working the red zone with his size, makes him the perfect target for Shanahan's creative sets. Think about the possibilities: vertical routes, crossers, motion mismatches. He's a weapon that defenses might not be ready for. And now, the biggest question: what's the real impact here? To me, this move could elevate the 49ers from NFC contenders to outright Super Bowl favorites. Imagine a scenario where Andrews becomes the focal point of the offense, freeing up space for players like Brandon Ayuk, John Jennings, and even Kyle Pitts if they want to diversify. The tight end position could finally take a step from good to unstoppable. Defenses would be forced to dedicate extra resources, creating mismatches all over the field. In my professional opinion, the ink on this deal could be signed in the next few weeks, and once it's finalized, expect massive ripple effects across the league. The Ravens will need to replace Andrews with a combination of draft picks and emerging talents. The 49ers will get a true game-changer at a position that's often been a question mark. That's not hyperbole, that's the reality of what this trade could mean. But hold on, here's where it gets even more explosive. Sources close to the process tell me that Shanahan and Lynch aren't just looking at Andrews as a stopgap. They see him as a franchise-altering piece, a guy who can help them compete for multiple championships. The NFL insiders are whispering that a deal could also include future considerations, possibly a player swap, or even a restructuring of Andrews' contract to make the math work. And don't forget, this isn't just about football. It's about the media spectacle, the narratives, the legacy. Andrews becoming a 49er would rewrite his career, from a Baltimore icon to a national superstar in the heart of the West Coast. It would energize a fan base desperate for a new era of dominance. The NFL network, ESPN, The Athletic, they're all waiting for the first leak, the first confirmation. But I guarantee you, behind the scenes, it's already happening. Now let's analyze what a trade like this would actually look like: the mechanics, the logistics, the winners and losers. Starting with the Ravens, they might demand a second-round pick, a third-rounder, plus a young player or a veteran replacement. Baltimore would want to maximize draft capital, especially in a deep class of tight ends and receivers. They could also look for a veteran linebacker or cornerback to plug into their defense. The salary cap considerations aren't a problem. Andrews' contract is highly tradable, especially if Baltimore wants to spread out the cap hits or include a team-friendly restructure. This is a rare window where a team can add high-impact talent without destroying salary cap flexibility. For the 49ers, the compensation might be a couple of picks, possibly a second and a fifth-rounder, plus an internal player swap, maybe a linebacker or a cornerback for cap relief or future considerations. The real wins here are on the field. Andrews instantly elevates the offense to a new level, a consistent, matchup-proof threat that defenses simply cannot stop. Shanahan's offense has always thrived with versatile tight ends, and Andrews adds a new dimension that no current 49er can match. Now, scheme-wise, I see Andrews fitting like a glove. Shanahan's offense relies on mismatches, motion, quick throws, and yards after the catch. Andrews' route tree is expansive. He's a threat on deep routes, quick outs, seam routes, and red zone fades. His size and catching technique make him a nightmare for safeties, while his agility allows him to shake linebackers. He's a perfect complement to Ayuk, a red zone target down the sideline. Imagine the complementary routes, the footwork, the schemes. Andrews in the 49ers system would be a league MVP-level weapon. Projected impact. If this trade happens, the 49ers become immediate NFC favorites. Their offense would be unstoppable, their playoff ceiling raised exponentially. Meanwhile, Baltimore might shift gears, rebuild at tight end, and focus on developing their younger players or finding a versatile tight end in free agency or the draft. For Andrews, a fresh start in San Francisco could mean a career renaissance, a chance to compete for a ring, and a new chapter in his NFL legacy. But let's not get carried away. All of this hinges on one thing: timing. And I'm told the negotiations are already heating up. The NFL insiders are whispering that a deal could be announced as soon as late February, right after the NFL scouting combine. That's when the league's power brokers meet, make trades, shuffle the deck, and mark my words, this could be the ultimate move that defines 2026. In conclusion, what I'm revealing here is not just a rumor. It's an inside scoop, a preview of a seismic event that will shake the NFL to its core. The 49ers, led by Shanahan and Lynch, are quietly making a move that could elevate them from a good team to a dynasty contender. Baltimore, with their stability and organizational strength, are positioning themselves for the future. And Mark Andrews, well, he's about to become the most talked-about tight end in the league, not just for his play, but for the legacy he's about to forge in one of the NFL's most iconic franchises. Stay alert, stay watching. Because what's coming next will redefine everything you thought you knew about the NFL in 2026. And trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of it.